Hello and welcome to MO Development. My name is Dennis Mollberg and today we want to talk about this suspension kit I have developed for the 116 series Alfa Romeos. When I bought my first Alfa Romeo, it was a track day car. I realized that the aftermarket for this car was very limited, which is a bit strange because it's a popular sports car, track car. So I ended up doing like most people did at that time and still do. I made my own parts. And over the time, it has slowly turned into a business and I developed this complete solution. And to ensure the highest quality, all the parts you see are manufactured here in Europe. I wanted something more than an old car with hard spring, hard dampers. I wanted the car to perform like a modern car. Is it possible to have a 30, 40-year-old Alfa Romeo to perform like a Giulia, M3, AMG? Of course, you cannot have the modern electronics, you can't have ESP, ABS, things like that, but it is possible to have a car with good performance, good brakes, good comfort, and that is what you see here. And the best thing of all is that it fits bolt-on. Let's talk about the brakes. All versions use 4-pot billet calipers and you can choose pads for street, track or racing. All three versions of the discs are based on the Alfa Romeo 156 series, so it's easy to source parts wherever you live in the world. This big version, I have chosen a 2-piece rotor with alloy bell lightweight disc. It's just to keep the weight down. As you can see, this 330mm disc is very big and will require 17-inch wheels at least. But I have a smaller version, 305, if you use 16-inch wheels, and even if you use 15-inch, you can have the smallest 284mm disc, which still is a very good upgrade from the standard brakes. The biggest single upgrade in this kit is the vastly improved geometry. You can see here that the ball joint is on the underside of the upright. Usually when you lower the 116 series cars, you will see the wishbone at a bad angle like this, and when they compress they will drag the wheel inwards and you will get changes in the track width. Straightening the lower wishbone will give you a much better roll center, so you will get less body roll with the car without needing harder and heavier springs. You can also retain the factory anti-roll bar, so you don't need a massive anti-roll bars you see usually on 116 series cars. As you can see, the upright is much more compact than the factory upright, and the axle is shorter. You will not feel the flex you can feel if you have wide tires on a factory upright. That's a reason why I ended up making new uprights. It wasn't the plan from the beginning, but when I realized how much the factory uprights is flexing, I decided to make new uprights. Another very good upgrade is the shorter steering arms. The shorter steering arms makes the steering faster, about 30%, but you can still retain the factory steering rack. I don't know of any faster steering rack that can be combined with the servo steering, but this works with the servo steering or any factory steering rack that you have. The kit also uses a complete new steering arm with a new boot and an offset ball joint that makes it possible to have wide tires and big angles. Adjustment on this kit is super easy. You probably know that you adjust the factory wishbones with shims on the inside. It's very hard to do with car on the floor. On this kit you simply loosen this bolt here and then you can adjust just by screwing this either side. If you have a track car, you can also adjust here. So the outer position is for street car, and then you can adjust up to 2 degrees camber. And if you need more for track use, you just use the inner position here. And then it's enough for up to 4 degrees camber. So it's a street and track configuration. The caster you can adjust just like factory cars, but a little more simple on this one. The damper and springs comes in 2 versions, one for street and one for track. This is the street version. It uses rubber bushes, it's adjustable and it has a harder rebound. Track version has uniballs and it's more like a 1-to-1 ratio on the damping, and it's also harder, of course. The street version has one spring, but track version also has a helper spring. When it comes to the rear suspension, you don't need such a big upgrade as you will need in the front. The rear suspension works good on a lowered car. Just put some fresh rubber bushes in if you have a road car, or if you have a track car you can use the SZ joint in the front, maybe uniballs in the back, it's up to you. But included in this kit you will have an adjustable rear damper, and it's the same. There are two versions, one for street and one for track. You will also have an adjustable spring seat that fits on your rear axle. It will have a spring. If you have a race car, it will have a helper spring also. And you will have a seat for the body also. This seat has a bump stop and it's adjustable. You can just screw it out and adjust it with washer on the inside, depending on how low you want the car to be and how wide your tires are, so you don't scrub the inside. What you can see here is an engine mount for a twin spark engine. You fit it in the cylinder head here, as you can see in the damper here. So you will get a much more rigid engine without needing to change the factory engine mount for harder, more vibrating ones. So it's very good, especially for a street car where you need to retain the comfort. And there is a version for the Nord engine also. You can see it here. If you have a street car, I recommend that you use this to strengthen the damper points, and you can fit it in factory holes, so you don't need to drill anything in the car. And it also have this bracket here where you can fit a rubber like this in the Nord engine head also. So you can benefit in the same way as you do with this one. As you can see, this brace does not fit the V6 cars, so I have another brace for those. The joints are OEM quality parts that can be bought wherever you live in the world. Another good thing with the kit, it will give you a massive weight reduction, 12 kilos or more depending on which version you choose. I can give you some example here. This upper wishbone is 300 grams. The upright, it's also a billet alloy, it's 900 grams. And they have as part of all the lower wishbone is only 1.6 kilos, so it's so much lighter than the factory one. Included in the kit, you will also find all the toolings you will need. This kit is for changing the ball joints. This tool is for fitting this joint. This tool is for taking the ball joints off without hammering on your new nice upright. And this one is to adjust the spring seat, obviously. If you're restoring a car, this is a good way to get the car faster on the road. You can just fit this and at the same time get the car upgraded and save the cost of restoring all the factory parts. Most of the development for this kit has been on the racetrack. So if you have a race car or a track car, it's a very good way to save time and take you straight out to the track. Everything you need to fit the kit on your car is included. The steering arm, the brake hose for the calipers, every nut and bolt. What is not included is the engine mount and the brace, because these two differs on engine versions. Please visit my Facebook site or my Instagram site for more information.